it's Kate from Kate's Crafting Corner. I am here with my little Sam. I give them their haircuts themselves and it's a little bit wild, but when they're $55 each and they're 6 dogs, that's like over $300, so I'm calling it a win. And look at his sweet, adorable little face. He's still so cute. Anyways, he wants you to come say hi today. Didn't you? He's gonna deny it now, but he was sitting there staring at me, so he got picked up. Anyways, this is Kate from Kate's Crafting Corner, if I didn't already say so. I am here for an update. This is going to be knitting and crochet, as that's all I've done. I have got 2 whip updates, a new start, and my plans for this next week, and some stash. My husband went to go pick up some dinner, and he just texted me he's on his way back, so I've got to make this quick and not super chatty like I do. So the first small update is I have worked some more on my little dishcloth, and I am just loving how this one is turning out. It's so cute. I love all the colors. I didn't expect this one. Like, you can barely see it in the ball, but I think it's so nice. So I'm really loving this. I'm hoping that I actually have enough for 2 dishcloths, but we will see about that. So when I'm done, I will weigh how much the dishcloth weighs, and then I'll weigh how much yarn I have left, and that will determine if I'm able to do another one. My other whip date update is my first arbitrary August piece that was drawn was 6 hours on my Grinda shawl. I did manage to find the pattern, and so I did 10 hours. I did at least 10 hours, but the thing is I was watching the Olympics, so it's sketchy about how much I did. But here we are. So I completely finished the second part. So these are dividers for each part. So this was the first part, the second part, and I'm now just started on the third part. And I was somewhere around over here when I started this. So the thing I always forget about crochet as opposed to knitting, because I haven't done a lot of crochet lately, I've done a lot of knitting, is the rows. So I mean, that sounds ridiculous to say, but I think this is in the 30s or the 40s in terms of row count. And in my knitting projects, 40 rows is not very big. It's actually quite tiny, especially when I'm working with like fingering weight yarn, which even, I mean, this would be. But crochet, that's actually quite big. And so this project doesn't look, and like even my Afghans, the row count is like the 150s maybe, or the rounds actually. And that's just, it's not very big when you consider that one of my socks is about 150 rounds, and that's not counting the heel or the cuff or the toe. I mean, knitting has a lot more rows, and I just had completely forgotten that. So when I was trying to find my place on this pattern, because I hadn't worked on this in years, I was looking at the row number and I was like, that doesn't seem right. That seems too small, but it was right. And I was able to quite easily, without too much trouble, find where I was. And no. Sorry. I was able to easily find where I was and continue. And I really am enjoying this. There are 5 parts in this shawl. And so I am just now started on part 3. I am, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows into row 3. Each row was taking about an hour because they just get so long, so it takes a while. And then you have to try to remember to stay in pattern and count properly and all of that. But I really, really love this. I got to another color change, so now it's 3 strands of purple and 1 strand of pink. And it's still I've got a glitter strand in there, or a sparkle. So really, really loving this. This is what the cake looks like. And even though there's still so much left, like basically the majority of the cake is still left, because each row gets longer, hopefully I will make it through all of the colors in this. And if not, I might try to figure out how I could add something to lengthen it so I can get to that all the way, but we'll see. I'm not great at adapting patterns myself. So that is the Grinda shawl. It's going to go away for a little while because I did finish the 6 hours, and I did spin the wheel again, and the thing that came up was my Jane Austen cowl, the 12 Days of Knitting by Corey Eckelberg, Iroquois design. Anyways, I really love this one. I haven't worked on it at all because there was a new Afghan cowl that's crochet along that came out, and I had to start it. And I will show you that in a minute. But I am hoping to quickly do this week's worth on the cowl, the Afghan, and then be able to do my 6 hours on this. So I started off needing 10 hours, so I will be over halfway done once I get the 6 done with this. On my whip go board, not over half done with this, but I am really, really happy with how this is turning out. I love it. So I'm excited to work on that. Now let's talk about my new start. So one of my favorite designers, Deidre Ice, she made the really popular Afghan pattern Sophie's Universe. Well, she just put out a new one called Charlotte's Universe, and the first part came out August 1st. I am not quite done with week 1, and that is because week 1, she said, is actually the longest because she'd already released this part of the pattern before in a different crochet along, and so it was 3 parts, and she combined all of that for week 1, and so it is a lot of crocheting, which is why I'm not done yet. But I am hoping to finish that and this current week's in the next day or 2, and then be able to work on other projects. So this is a 3-color Afghan, and I am so super happy with my color choices, and I think it's going to be really beautiful. So here is my start so far. It called for 1 main color, and then you had a choice between, for your other colors, to be either contrasting each other or one contrasting the main color and then a different like accent type of color, or to have them all the same. No, not all the same. So either to have them contrasting each other, which is what I did, but the main version I would have done like black with gray and then only one of these. But so I really liked the look of the sample that was done that had the 2 different contrasting colors. And I just really like how these 2 look together. And then I put out a question about whether to do off-white, black, or gray as my contrast color, and most people responded back gray, which is also where I was thinking I would go. And I'm so glad I did, because I really just love how this looks. I'm so pleased with it. I still have to weave in my ends, unfortunately. I'm going to try to do that as I finish each part so that it's not a big chore at the very end. I do try to just crochet over them, but not all stitch patterns allow for that, so I wasn't able to do that for all of them. But anyways, like I said, really happy with how this is turning out. I am using Karen's Simply Soft yarn, which I basically treat Karen's Simply Soft to be kind of like DMC for cross stitch, where I have like one skein, maybe two of all of the colors, and then I just kind of play with them when a crochet pattern like an Afghan comes out. And it's my go-to yarn for Afghans because it's pretty affordable, and you can they're frequently on sale at Joann's or Michael's, and they're just easy to work with. The color lots stay the same. It's my go-to for Afghans. And I do one day would like to do an Afghan in the stone wash type of yarn, but that stuff's more pricey, and so until I find a project I really love with the colorways for that, I'm just sticking with my basics. And so the three colors, this is Heather Gray, this one is Robin Egg, and this one is called Pagoda, and this is one of my favorite shades. You will find it in almost all of my ones that I make for myself. I just love that shade, the very dark, like a very dark tealy blue color. I just love it. I love it. So yeah, that was my new start, and I'm really excited to work more on it. Because I am knitting this in acrylic yarn, my hook size is bigger than the one that they're using. I'm using a 5.0 H, and so I think my Afghan's gonna come out bigger than the sample size, which is fine because I do usually prefer a little bit bigger, and it's probably going to use more skeins because I'm almost done with my first skein of gray. So yeah, anyways, I will link the pattern down below, and it is not too late to join. We are only on the second week, and I think it's 12 or 16 weeks, can't remember which, so there's still plenty of time to join. And if you do join and you have like a Ravelry page for it, or you're posting updates somewhere, please give me a link so I can follow your progress. There is a Facebook group for it too, and there are a lot of beautiful versions out there. I have to stop looking at it or I'll be tempted to start another one. Actually, this big ball right here is now on the top instead of the bottom because I pulled it out to see if there was enough yarn in there to complete the pattern. So this is a big skein, big cake. And it is 3,000 meters, and unfortunately most of what I've seen is thinking it'll take 4,000 to 5,000, so I don't think this is going to be enough for this particular Afghan, which is fine because I'll just find another one to use it for. I do have another project started in this right here. So this is a smaller skein of this, and I just love how it's working up and how it looks. This one is a four ply instead of 3. So I need to work on this project more too. I haven't worked on this one in years. Like, to the extent where I'm not even sure what the pattern's called. I do this all the time. But this is probably one of my favorite colorways that Little Favorites by Rhea has ever done. So I love it. Anyways, didn't mean to share all of that. Now we're going to get to some stash enhancements. Yay! So, as as I've mentioned before, I have been doing a yarn club with one of my favorite dyers, Storyweaver Yarn, and it is a Hermione's club. And the last month for that was July. But anyways, I hadn't gotten my June one, and she mailed it like June 1st. And so I contacted her after it had been about 6 weeks. And I was like, Katie, I still haven't received it. And so she said, no problem, she'll dye me up another one. So the original one arrived after it had been exactly 2 months. It arrived on the 1st of August, after it had been exactly 2 months since she had mailed it. And I felt so bad because she'd already sent, just a few days before, she had sent the replacement yarn. But so this is, I think this one is gorgeous. It's so beautiful. So this is the original. But this is why when you're buying hand-dyed yarn, you have to buy everything that you will use for a project together. Like, because these are clearly very different. I think they are both gorgeous. But this one has those nice dark purples, and this one is very muted pastel. So I will definitely use both of them, but probably not in the same project. So not as two skein project, which is fine. I love them both. So this one is called History of Magic. She has now replaced this club with a couple others that I have subscribed to. And I don't have their yarns yet, but she's doing a cottagecore club, and I'm hoping the first one comes before it renews, because I wasn't fully sure I understood what that was going to look like. So I got it to see if it's something that I like, because if it's more like a tonal yarn, I don't have a lot of tonal yarns, and so I would like to kind of increase my collection of tonal yarns, because there's a lot of projects where using these more vibrant speckly type of yarns just doesn't suit the project. And so but if it's not to my aesthetic, it's fine, because she's also got a Nancy Drew club. She put out what I thought was going to be a one-time 2 skein Pride and Prejudice club, but she just did another month of it, and so I don't know if that's going to be continuous and ongoing, but I love Pride and Prejudice, so that's a problem. Because I have a lot of yarn. That's why it's a problem, because I have too much yarn. But this next month is based on Jane, I believe. So I'm really excited about that. And then she's got, like, she just started the Weasley Burrow club. And I think each month is going to be based off of a different Weasley. Which just, how can I leave that behind? So problems. But luckily, my other Harry Potter club from Crystal Sky Hand Dyed just did their last month, because this one was based off of the movies this year, so there was 8 months, and I just got the final one, and I love it. The last 2 months were a bit of a miss for me, but this one I love. I think it's going to be so nice. I'm not sure that I will actually use the contrasting, not because I don't think it goes. I just think that this is so lovely that I'm not quite sure I'll use it, but who knows. And because I participated in all 8 months, I got a little extra goodie. And so I got some butterbeer flavored chapstick. I'm so excited about that. And then she included a little sample packet from Happy Hands, which is my favorite hand lotion to use when I'm doing cross stitch or knitting or anything like that. It doesn't leave your hands oily. I've received before the sample packet, but I think this is a new flavor because I have not heard of watermelon lemonade before. So I'm really excited to try this, and if I like it, to hopefully order it before it goes out of stock. I'm guessing that this is just a seasonal one, maybe just for summer. So I need to try it soon, and if I like it, then order it. And then just a couple little mints. So I really love that Yarn Club. There is a limited edition Halloween one. So I'm probably gonna do that. There's only like 20 or 25 spots open for that because she got something custom made for it. And so I need to order it quick if I'm gonna do it. But yeah, so that's the yarn clubs. Then there's one more yarn club, and this one it's a 3-month sock yarn club, and it's the Pemberley sock club. And so with it, I got a little excerpt that came. So I got the first month's in the mail, and it says, in chapter 43 of Pride and Prejudice, we find Elizabeth watching for the first appearance of Pemberley Woods. During this chapter, the grounds are discussed at length. My favorite is, Elizabeth's mind was too full for conversation, but she saw and admired every remarkable spot and point of view. They gradually ascended for half a mile, and then found themselves at the top of a considerable eminence, where the wood ceased and the eye was instantly caught by Pemberley House, situated on the opposite side of a valley, into which the road was with some abruptness wound. It was a large, handsome stone building, standing well on rising ground, backed by a ridge of high woody hills, and in front a stream of some natural importance was swelled into greater, but without any artificial appearance. Its banks were neither formal nor falsely adorned. Elizabeth was delighted. She had never seen a place for which nature had done more, or where natural beauty had been so little counteracted by an awkward taste. They were all of them warm in their admiration, and at the moment she felt that to be mistress of Pemberley might be something. So this is the yarn based off of that. I'm not completely positive how it fits the theme, but I think it is beautiful. I do see how this could be like woods. I think this skein is gorgeous. I love it, love it, love it. I might associate it more with like Lizzie's dress or something. I will probably not be knitting these together, as I just think they're too different. I don't know that I like them together, but that's okay, because I just can add another mini to my mini skein collection and then make something gorgeous with this. I think going from the lighter purple, darker, down to this dark rich purple and this peachy color is just so beautiful. So I'm really excited to make something with this. And then she included a little stitch marker, and that is a Lizzie's bonnet. So you can see the brim, the ribbons. Because I kept seeing a bee at first, so I thought I would show that it's a bonnet. But I'm really excited for the next skein, and I'm really happy with this. So, yeah, that is my stash enhancement, and that's all I've really got to share with you guys today. I won't know what next I'll work on after my cowl until I spin the wheels, so we will see. I will be back in a week with a new update, and until then, talk to you later, guys. Bye!